As I finished the fourth part of refuting Yasir AlQadi, I saw a video for him today, repeating the same melody, exactly the same thing, that those pagan people before, people of Jahiliyyah, they said, مَا نَعْبُدُهُمْ إِلَّا لِيُقَرِّبُونَ إِلَى اللَّهِ زُلْفَى. They confess that they are worshipping them by saying, we worship those idols. The idols are symbols of the saints in the graves. Don't forget that. All right. So they said, we worship them not but so that they drive us closer to Allah. See, they're saying we worship them. They're confessing that they worship them. But those who ask Jilani, they don't worship him. They don't say we worship. That's a difference. It seems not only those people who invoke Jilani, they are ignorant that the supplication is worship. It's you also. Either you do not know or you are ignoring deliberately. I accuse you. After I have mentioned all of those ayat, which makes invoking worship, like what Allah said, قُلْ إِنِّي نُهِيتُ أَنْ أَعْبُدَ الَّذِينَ تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. Say, O Muhammad, I'm forbidden from worshipping those whom you are invoking. And the Prophet said, supplication is worship, invoking is worship, and you are denying this. What's the matter with you? You have been to Medina studying in the university. You've been explaining the book of Tawheed, the four bases of Tawheed. So we can't say, oh, we leave him to his ignorance. You are a person of knowledge, but you're following your desire, and you are forming fatwas that fit the surrounding situation around you, such as Brailwis, Deobandis. You are giving them facilities on the account of Tawheed. You're not an ignorant person, but you're ignoring. There's a difference between ignorance and ignoring. Why you keep persisting on this point? As if you are, well, in fact, you are opposing what Allah said. Allah is tens upon tens of verses. He made it clear that supplication, invoking, is worship. So if those people who invoke Jilani do not know that their supplication is worship, don't let it be your evidence. Don't let their ignorance be your evidence. I repeat, don't let their ignorance be your evidence. Okay? Number one. Number two, he says also that those people, they said that those saints are gods, while those who invoke Jilani, they don't say that he is God. Well, don't you remember what the Prophet said when people said to him, make for us a blessed tree, just like the tree that those pagans have? What did he say? He made their statement equal to those who said to Musa, make for us gods. So the Prophet is refuting people like you. Okay, there are people who do not know, but don't let their ignorance be your criterion, your standard, your decision, your fatwa. Otherwise, you are worse than the layman people. If people are ignorant, we leave their matter to Allah. I mean, this is the least thing you can say. But if people do not know the Quranic ruling, it doesn't mean for their sake we change the ruling of Allah of this matter from being shirk to become bid'ah. The companions did not say to the Prophet, make for us gods. They said, let's have a tree, just like those pagans who have a blessed tree and they hang their swords on it. So why the Prophet ﷺ constituted them, saying to them that your statement is similar to the statement of the people of the Jews who said to Musa, make for us gods. Can you answer the Prophet? Please, for one time, please. 2 questions. Can you answer what the Prophet said? Second question, is invoking worship or not? Please give an answer. You have the knowledge, but you are hiding the fact that you know about. That supplication is worship. Where can you run from this? How can you run from that? When the Prophet said invoking is worship. Why do you want to run to the ignorance of people, ignoring what the Prophet said to you, that invoking is worship? How long are you going to keep ignoring this fact? And by the way, the friends that you pick pictures with them, such as Hatim al-Awni, this man is an enemy of the Sunnah. This man is an enemy to some of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You're proudly taking pictures with them. You are, in a matter of fact, showing what happened to you and who are behind you, such as Hatim Awni and Hamza Yusuf and Nuh Killer. It seems you're responding to their pressures. So, as a result, you failed. You failed to defend your point. You can't, because the Prophet said it to you. Invoking is worship. How can you run away from this? You won't. So stop your persistence for evil and justifying the evil of those who invoke the dead. Invoking the dead is worship. And that's why when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that those whom you are worshipping, they are dead, He said after that, your God is only one God. Right after that, in Surah Al-Nahl, verse 22. The chapter number is 16. So it's very obvious. When Allah the Almighty prohibited on those pagan people asking the dead, He said, your God is only one God. You don't understand, as I said it before, you do not understand the Islamic terminologies, such as the word ilah. What is the meaning of ilah? Ilah is the one whom people run to for their asylum, for their fear, for their hardship, for their disasters. So when you ask the dead to remove these hardships from you, you're making them God. Why? Because you're giving them divine quality. You are deifying them by giving them a divine quality that they hear at any moment, any language. Do they watch Al Jazeera? Does Jilani watch Al Jazeera, by the way? Maybe. Why not? Because he watches everything. Anyone at any time, even if he's in the bathroom, he can respond to his call. If he says, "Oh, I suffer some stomach pains. Oh, Jilani, help me." Even in the bathroom, he knows, he hears at any time, at any place, by any language. He's ready. He gives. Just like this stupid Habashi, he said it, and I have it by voice. He said that if you ask Jilani for help, he will get out of his grave, give you your need, then he returns to his grave. Stop. Why didn't he pass by a mini market, buying some chips, things for refreshment, then he go back to his grave? What's wrong with you? You used to be a good person before, but it's Allah who guides whom He will and misguide whom He will. So stop justifying for the paganism and don't use the ignorance of people as an evidence for you. Ignorance is not evidence, but you're making it evidence because your agenda. Wassalamu alaikum.